Hey guys, and welcome to a very special Amaz Dual Class Arena Primer, where I run you down some tips on how to draft a very successful Dual Class Arena deck using the new Hallows End special event. So let's dive right into it because there are some very interesting mechanics that we're gonna look at where it's very different from a normal draft. The first thing that happens when you draft an arena draft here is that you pick a base class and then you pick a hero power to go with your base class, which is always going to be different. For example, you can go with something like a priest or druid, or like a rogue and a warrior, for example, and then you combine cards from both classes to make up your deck. So, the class cards for, say, rogue and warrior can contain things like Fool's Bane and Deadly Poison, right? So there are so many good combos. So the first main point is when you pick the selection of your first class, you need to make sure that the two classes you combine together have a lot of synergy, okay? This is actually a very cool point already because things like double Jade classes are already really strong because you double up on the chances you find a Jade. And then you have stuff like Paladin and Priest where you can have Potion of Madness combined with Aldor and Cabal Shadow Priest, Humility. And then also you can pick between two classes they're both secret based, right? So do you have something like Hydrologist coupled with the mage cards that, buff themselves up when you cast a secret, like the Ethereal and the 6 mana 5/5. Those are very prime targets. And that leads us to a very good next point, right? Because of these class combos, you want to try and draft a deck where it has a very good win condition. Sure, you can still win with stuff like Ultimate Infestation, or if you draft the Death Knight or something like that. But if you can find something that breaks the game entirely, then that will make up one of the best arena decks, okay? For example, if you combine Mage and Druid, you have Ethereal Conjurer that gives you Mirror Image, and then with the Mirror Images, they give you 0/2 taunts. You combine them with Savage Roar. You can combine them with the Scavenger that gives all your taunts +2/+2. And then you can combine that with Mark of the Lotus, right? So for example, Mage and Druid is a very good class, right? When combined together. There's stuff like Blood Bloom as well from Warlock, which is normally a very bad card. But then when you Blood Bloom something that's not a Warlock card, such as Firelands Portal, FFA, or even Ultimate Infestation, it grabs my attention the easiest. Then you kind of just break the game because you have such a big mana advantage, and preparation kind of achieves the same thing as Blood Bloom, which also ties in very nicely to our third point, which is mana usage, okay? Cards that are really cheap become really good in this arena because you get to play more cards in a turn. In the game of Hearthstone, which is, any card game, the more cards you play, the more likely you are to win a specific game. So for example, cards like Potion of Madness, things like Smuggler's Run, things like even Breath of Sindragosa, things that really bump your tempo up are very valued highly when you draft an arena deck and also when you play. Turn 7, it's actually really strong. You play a 1-drop, a 2 spell, and then the 4-drop or something like that, right? Because you just advance your tempo so highly, you get to do more options, and you get to hit pressure your opponent more, and they have to respond to your plays as well. So make sure you draft enough 1-drops because you want your deck to be more versatile. Which also brings us to the fourth point, which is versatility is really important, okay? What I mean by saying versatility is important is that when you pick two classes, you need them to cover their weaknesses and also exploit their strengths, right? For example, Rogue is a very easy example, right? Rogue has no AoEs, right? Rogue has a very good single target removal, such as Backstab, Eviscerate, you got Envenom Weapon, Assassinate, all these single target removals, but there's not a lot of area effect, cards like that. So you want to pair Rogue with something that has AoE, so something like Paladin, with Consecration and Avenging Wrath and Equality, or something like Mage would be a very good choice with Blizzard, Flame Strike for Catapult Potion. And then which is interesting. When you draft a pair, you don't want to pick the weak class cards from the other set, right? So for example, when you play a rogue mage deck, polymorph is not as good as you think, because the rogue class cards that are single target removal are even better, right? So you would want to prioritize the mage AoE spells and then the rogue single target removal. And why you can do that is to our fifth and final tip. Because of the dual class arena, you're gonna see twice as many class cards compared to normal drafting, right? Because class cards have a 300% chance increase of appearing on your draft, and then spells and weapons have an increased percent chance too. So you actually have a lot of selection of good cards to take. So you can be a little bit picky. Whereas in normal arena, every time you see an AoE spell, you always take the AoE, right? So you have to take all these tips into account, right? You need to take the curve into account, you need to take the power level of cards into account, and finally, I think the most important thing, which is actually the hardest to do, is that you need to take the combo potential of the two classes you draft into your deck, right? If you can incorporate something insane that combines both classes together, then you'll make an insane deck. And hopefully you can do that. And of course, you might ask me, why would I listen to your advice, Amaz? Well, as of this recording, I have played 7 dual class arena runs, and my average is 11 wins, okay? I've run 5-12 wins, 1-7, and a 1-10. I'm gonna show you these deck lists here, like on the screen right now. And as you can see, all these decks have a very good win condition. They have very good combos, and they have a very good array of 1 mana spells. You can try and actually figure out which deck list actually was the one that got 7 wins. It shouldn't be too hard. We'll reveal it in the comments below, so you can check it out and see if you guessed correctly. But yeah, I really love this game mode. Props to Blizzard for making this possible, and I'm very excited to play more. So hop onto my stream in the next 2 weeks at 6 AM PDT. That's when I start my stream, and I'll be running dual class arenas all the time, man. So hope to see you there, and good luck with your dual class arenas as well.